September saw the end of several lives behind prison walls, each case a story of crime, consequence, and controversy. Today, we look at the people executed this month and the details that led them there. David Joseph Pitman, Florida, September 17. Pitman was found guilty and sentenced to death for the brutal murders of Clarence, Barbara, and their daughter Bonnie Knowles. Clarence and Barbara's other daughter, Marie, had been married to Pitman, but their marriage had fallen apart and she had filed for divorce. Pitman opposed the separation, and throughout the proceedings, he repeatedly threatened Marie as well as members of her family. In the early hours of May 15, 1990, several witnesses contacted the fire department to report flames coming from the home of Clarence and Barbara Knowles, Marie's parents. Investigators later determined that before setting the fire, the intruder had cut the house's phone line, making it impossible to call for help. Afterward, he fled the scene in a car belonging to Bonnie Knowles, the couple's other daughter. When firefighters extinguished the blaze, the bodies of Clarence, 60, Barbara, 50, and Bonnie, 21, were discovered inside. All three victims had been viciously stabbed multiple times, with the official cause of death listed as severe blood loss. In Bonnie's case, the attack was even more gruesome. Her throat had been slashed. On that same morning, a witness reported seeing a vehicle resembling Bonnie Knowles's abandoned in a roadside ditch near the family home. He then observed a truck, later confirmed to belong to Pitman, pulling up beside the stranded car. Shortly after, the car was engulfed in flames. Another bystander recalled spotting a man fleeing from the burning vehicle. When later presented with a photo lineup, this witness identified Pitman as the man he had seen. The case against him was further strengthened by the testimony of a jailhouse informant who stated that Pitman had openly confessed to committing the murders. In Florida, executions are carried out using a three-drug protocol, first a sedative, then a paralytic, and finally a drug designated to stop the heart, according to the state's Department of Correction. On the day of his execution, David Pitman, 63, was put to death at Florida State Prison in Stark under a death warrant authorized by Republican Governor Ron DeSantis. He was officially pronounced dead at 6:12 p.m. As the chemicals entered his system, witnesses observed Pitman take several deep breaths before his body went motionless. His last words were, "I know you all came to watch an innocent man be murdered by the state of Florida. I am innocent. I didn't kill anybody. That's it." His last meal was steak, chicken, and biscuits.
The sentence of the state of Florida v. David Joseph Pitman was carried out at 6:12 p.m. on September 17, 2025. The execution took place without incident.
Capital punishment does not reduce murder, but it sure reduces the opportunity for future murder.
Joffrey Todd West, Alabama, September 25. West was found guilty of capital murder in the death of 33-year-old Margaret Parrish Berry. On the night of March 27, 1997, West and his girlfriend drove to Harold's Chevron, a convenience store located at 2920 Nokalula Parkway, where West had once been employed. Before the incident, he had openly talked about his plans to rob the store and eliminate any witnesses, even saying he would kill the person up there. Armed with a .45 caliber handgun, West entered the Chevron. Evidence suggests that he held Berry, the store attendant, at gunpoint and stole approximately $250 from a cookie tin used as the store's cash box. Medical findings later revealed that Berry had been shot in the back of the head while lying face down behind the store counter. The medical examiner testified that such a wound would have caused almost immediate incapacitation and a very swift death. At the age of 50, Joffrey Todd West was put to death at William C. Holman Correctional Facility through the use of nitrogen gas, a method of execution Alabama first implemented just last year. His execution was one of two carried out in the U.S. on the same night. In Texas, authorities also executed a man convicted of murdering his girlfriend's 13-month-old baby daughter. When the warden asked if he had any last words, West simply responded, "No, sir." Secured to the gurney with a blue-rimmed gas mask strapped to his face, he signaled a thumbs up toward his attorney as the execution process began at approximately 5:56 p.m. Throughout the first 2 minutes, his eyes remained open as he appeared to gasp and fight for air. His head shifted from side to side, his left hand clenched into a fist, and faint foam gathered at his mouth. By around 6:01, his breathing pattern changed, becoming a sequence of long, drawn-out breaths separated by extended pauses. Roughly 6 minutes later, at 6:07, he became motionless. The official time of death was recorded at 6:22 p.m. In a final statement shared through his attorney, West expressed that he had already offered a private apology to the family of Margaret Parrish Berry and said he was deeply humbled by the forgiveness shown to him by her son, Will. He went on to share that earlier this year he had been baptized into the Catholic Church and that he now felt at peace, confident that he knew where he was going after death. West was executed using a method that involved securing a gas mask over his face and exposing him to pure nitrogen gas, which deprived his body of oxygen. Regarding West's movements during the execution, Corrections Commissioner John Hamm stated that he believed most of them were involuntary and that the procedure unfolded exactly as expected under protocol. On the day he was executed, 50-year-old West met with his family, attorneys, and spiritual advisor, as recorded in the corrections log. He consumed coffee and Coca-Cola, had a sausage biscuit and some Skittles, and his last meal consisted of chicken quesadillas. Blaine Keith Milum, Texas, September 25. On December 2, 2008, 18-year-old Milum contacted law enforcement to report that he had discovered the body of his girlfriend's 13-month-old daughter, Amora Carson.
Rescue 911.
My name's Blaine Milum, and my daughter, I just found her dead.
How old's your daughter?
13 months.
13 months old? Okay, let me connect you with the ambulance service, okay? Ma'am, we're going to try CPR anyway, okay? Get her to the phone now.
51 minutes, 26 seconds.
Jenner! Blaine Jenner, hurry! Are you there? Yes. Y'all stalling is not helping her at all. If he's not going to do it, you put the phone down and go get that baby and get her to the phone.
At the time, Milum was engaged to Amora's mother, Jessica Carson, and the couple lived together in a trailer in Rusk County, Texas. When authorities arrived, they found Amora's body displaying severe injuries, including multiple bite marks and fractured ribs.
I'll never forget the bite marks. From the toe to the chin to over the mouth and nose. It was almost as if someone was trying to, suck out demons from the nose and mouth, the way the bite mark or the mouth print was on the child. I've never seen anything like it in my life.
Initially, both Milum and Jessica told police that they had left Amora alone for roughly an hour before returning to find her dead. Later, their account changed dramatically. They claimed that Amora had been possessed by demons and that they had attempted an exorcism on her.
Tell me what happened.
I could tell you, but you wouldn't believe me.
I will. I will believe you.
No, you won't.
I will believe you. I promise.
If you do, none of the other cops won't.
A follow-up autopsy revealed that both Milum and Jessica had bitten Amora and struck her with a hammer during their attempted exorcism. The little girl also had been assayed. In 2010, Milum received a death sentence. Despite his conviction, he continued to assert his innocence, blaming Jessica for Amora's death and for introducing the story of demonic possession. Subsequently, his legal team challenged the death sentence, arguing that it relied on unreliable forensic bite mark evidence and claiming that Milum was intellectually disabled, making him ineligible for execution under constitutional law. Milum's execution had previously been postponed in both 2019 and 2021 to allow time for him to appeal his conviction and death sentence. However, these appeals were ultimately unsuccessful, and he was determined to be mentally competent for execution. On his scheduled execution date, the U.S. Supreme Court denied his request for a stay. Later that same day, Milum was executed by lethal injection at the Huntsville unit in Huntsville, Texas. In his final statement, Milum expressed appreciation to the Texas Department of Criminal Justice for allowing death row inmates access to the prison chaplaincy program. His last words were, "If any of you would like to see me again, I implore all of you, no matter who you are, to accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, and we will meet again. I love you all. Bring me home, Jesus." Texas doesn't offer a final special last meal, but we do know that Milum was offered what the other inmates were given that day, so his actual final meal comprised a cheeseburger, oven-fried potatoes, green beans, pinto beans, sliced bread, scrambled eggs, country gravy, a sausage patty, pears, biscuits, tea, and water. Victor Tony Jones, Florida, September 30. On December 19, 1990, the bodies of 66-year-old Matilda Nestor and 67-year-old Jacob Nestor were discovered at their place of business. Victor Tony Jones, who had recently started working at the business, was found collapsed on a couch in the main office, a .22 caliber automatic pistol lying beneath his arm. Matilda Nestor was located in the bathroom with a stab wound to her back, while Jacob Nestor was found in the main office suffering from a stab wound to the chest. Evidence indicated that Jones had stabbed Matilda as she was entering the bathroom, and he attacked Jacob as he approached from the main office. After being stabbed, Jacob retreated to the main office where he attempted to call for help. He then drew his own .22 caliber pistol and fired at Jones 5 times, striking him once in the forehead. Additionally, the personal property and money belonging to the Nestors were found in Jones's pockets. Police, alerted by a neighbor, arrived at the scene and found Jones. When questioned about the incident, he stated, "The old man shot me." Later, at the hospital, Jones told the nurse he had to leave because he had killed those people. When asked for the reason, he replied, "They owed me money and I had to kill them." Jacob had hired Jones to help him that day because he knew the man needed money. When Jones asked to be paid before he completed the job, Matilda refused to give him the money, so he killed the couple out of spite. The Nestors had a daughter and a son. Their son later became a 9/11 hero, working in law enforcement when the tragedy happened. He carried the woman to safety just before the towers collapsed. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2020 of cancer, which the medical professionals believe he developed because of what he had inhaled that day. The daughter of the couple as well as their granddaughter wanted to attend the execution so that they'd be able to put all of the suffering behind them. On the morning of his execution, Victor Tony Jones woke up at 4:30 a.m. He spent part of the day with a spiritual advisor, his only visitor, and officials noted that he remained calm and cooperative throughout. For his final meal, he requested a simple southern plate: fried chicken, collard greens, and sweet tea. As evening fell, the prison prepared for his execution. 64-year-old Victor Tony Jones was pronounced dead at 6:13 p.m. after receiving a lethal injection inside Florida State Prison near Stark. His death marked another entry in Florida's record-setting year for executions, with officials already preparing to carry out 2 more the following month. At exactly 6 p.m., the curtain to the viewing room was drawn back, signaling the beginning of the procedure. When asked if he wished to make a final statement, Jones simply replied, "No, sir." Moments later, the lethal drugs began coursing through his veins. His chest rose and fell sharply at first, each breath labored, before gradually slowing until it stopped entirely. Several minutes into the execution, the warden called out Jones's name and shook him, but there was no response. His skin began to pale as he lay motionless on the gurney. Eventually, a prison medic entered the chamber, checked him, and officially declared him dead. According to prison officials, the execution proceeded without complications. For the month of October, 8 death warrants are currently active. Please hit that subscribe button if you like my channel. See you next time. Bye-bye.